I am Karen Briscoe, and with my husband Andy, we have been at Trinity since 9/11/2002, a pivotal time in the life of our nation and community. Our son, Drew, who is almost 29, and our daughter, Callie, 25, both were confirmed at Trinity. Andy and I have served the congregation in multiple capacities. He has been finance chair and administrative council chair, involved in the men's group and the Boy Scouts. I have been worship chair and lay leader, led the women's retreats, as well as the family programs for a number of years. We were both involved when the kids were in Sunday school and youth group, and we continue to lead the couples ministry with retreats and Sunday school classes. We had last weekend our 14th couples retreat with 10 couples. Trinity is a part of the fabric of our lives. When we came here, there was no fellowship building, no chapel, no courtyard that joins the facilities with the sanctuary. Visitors had to follow the maze of hallways, the connections to Langley Hall that were a mystery. You had to leave breadcrumbs. And those with young children did not have the modern nursery that we are now able to enjoy. The explosion and growth of Trinity, particularly with children and young people, has been in response to the new additions. It truly represents the fulfillment of the vision the leadership had in the two previous capital campaigns, that if we move forward together and build it, they would come. And they have, thanks be to God. The words from lay theologian and Christian apologist C.S. Lewis are at the heart of my message. I pray because the need flows out of me all the time. It doesn't change God, it changes me. My words are give because the need flows out of me all the time. It doesn't change God, it changes me. I was raised as a United Methodist, as was Andy. That being said, our families did not embrace tithing and regular giving, and I personally had issues with financial security and money my entire life. I am a classic worrier about where the money is going to come from. Andy was the primary breadwinner, and I stayed home until the kids were older, and we lived on one salary. When I did start back to work, it was at hourly part-time jobs that did not bring in a high income. For the first half of our marriage together, we gave as many people, and that is out of what was left at the end of the month. I would like to read some excerpts from the scripture Jim read and preached about a couple of weeks ago in Matthew 6, entitled, "Do Not Worry." No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. In 2004, when I was lay leader, I had an epiphany that we should be giving to God out of our bounty and abundance rather than the remains. That meant to me that it should come out first. Some refer to that as first fruits. We decided in modern terminology that meant gross rather than net after taxes and everything else was paid, including needs and wants. And we are encouraged by Scripture to give joyously. So Andy and I made a commitment to see what would happen if we gave to God first. And I'm here to share that it did not change God. What it did change was me. I do not worry about money like I used to. I have a peace that everything will work out. This is not intended to be a prosperity message. During the past 13 years, my father had a serious life-threatening accident, which he has recovered from, but we have taken on contributing to my parents' finances. We have put 2 kids through college. My business partner, Sue Huckabee, died in 2008, the same month the financial markets crashed. And last January, Andy was asked to retire early from his career as a trade association executive. And through it all, we have been richly blessed. For me, the act of giving has made me free from worry. At Trinity, there are those that have gone before us, some of whom are in the church invisible, and some who are with us that envisioned a community of faith in this place. Many gave sacrificially, and others from their bounty. The church present is blessed beyond measure for their vision and those contributions. Now we have the opportunity to be a part of the future. We are the ones who can put into place for the next generations. I would like to share a story about the stained glass windows in the chapel. To install the windows at the same time as construction would have been the most cost effective. And that meant we would need to raise the additional money. At the same time, we were seeking funds for the not as glamorous aspects of the building project, such as county requirements for an underground water retention system and parking lots. When I shared with Andy that I wanted to be a donor of one of the windows, as finance chair, he reminded me that the church has bills to pay. I shared my vision that the stained glass windows would reach beyond into the future in a very unique way. People drive up and down 123, and the windows, in their own way, invite people to Trinity Church. I emphasized my point with the scripture that when Jesus was in his last days, Mary poured about a pint of very expensive perfume on him and wiped his feet with her hair. One of his disciples objected to the extravagance. Well, why wasn't that perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. Jesus replied, it was intended that she should save the perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. This message to me is that there are times in our lives when we are given the opportunity to do great things like Mary, to give in a meaningful way that will have a lasting impact on the world, to give out of faith and joy. And this is such a time. God created us with the desire to give and to be co-creators with him here on earth. Remember the words in the Lord's Prayer where Christ said, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. This is so that we can experience more fully his richest blessings in this time and place on this journey called life. In the March Spire, Keith Lee shared the response of a parishioner who inquired about the youth group ski trip. Well, that mystery person was me. I'm the one that said, it's not about the skiing, it's about the relationships that form through the trip and on the journey. And that is the reason, too, I believe, for giving. It is because of the impact that we can have on the relationships here and now and those beyond these walls and in the time that is to come. Our relationship with God flows through, into, and through us and out into the world. Please join Andy and myself by making your commitment to be a part of the future of Trinity Church. Thanks be to God.
Amen. Thank you.